Hello then, welcome to The Agenda. My name is Henry Williams. It's another day, a time like this in history to talk about something that's trending, something crucial issues happening on the Nigerian scene. And without much ado, I just want to say thank you for being a part of our history today, as we'll be talking about issues, talking about the MEND and the new threats of insurgency in the Niger Delta. Now, the Niger Delta region seems to be on the edge of hostilities again. And this is following the recent attack on police officers in the Bayelsa creeks, leaving about 15 police officers dead. The attack followed the movement for the Emancipation of Niger Delta, MEND's threats to resume attacks in the oil-rich Niger Delta to avenge alleged collaboration between Nigeria's federal government and South Africa to jail its former leader, Henry Okah. Now, the security agencies had dismissed the threat and said they were ready for MEND, which tagged its promised resurgence of attacks, Hurricane Exodus. While former Niger Delta Warlords had earlier dismissed the threat, the recent attack has continued to raise a threat to the peace, a fragile peace brought into the region in 2009 by late President Umaru Musa Yaradua's amnesty deal with the militants. Now, these are the things we'll be looking at today on the agenda. I won't be doing that alone. Now, but before I introduce my guests to you, well, these are, if you're interested in, if you're one for dialogue as a means to resolving solutions and issues and challenges, then you're on the right, you're watching the right station. With me today to look into these issues, to try and unbundle and find a way, find reason and point a way forward out of this whole imbroglio, a quagmire that the nation has found itself. I have with me two gentlemen. I'll introduce the first one of them to you. His name is Former Niger Delta. He's a legal practitioner and a consultant and public policy analyst. Now, he's a very remarkable man. If he's not the one to play to the gallery. He's direct and to the point. In fact, I might have to restrain him during the show. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to see you. Great to have you here.
Yes.
All right, and with me also I have Mr. Ignatius Nigotu, brand and advertising executive, social commentator, and public policy analyst. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, it's great to have you, remarkable gentleman, on the show today. And you've heard, my intro about this whole issue, talking about the MEND and new threats of insurgency. I want to start with you, Barrister. What do you think? What do you think about renewed threats of insurgency in the Niger Delta now?
Well, it's unfortunate, but I just wonder whether we can describe it as a resurgence of insurgency.
Okay.
Because I sympathize with the police. They have my sympathy over the loss of their officers. But I understand that the police have said it is not MEND that killed their officers.
Yes, according to reports, yes.
According to reports. And then we also have it on good authority that there was a disagreement in the governor's lodge.
Okay.
Between some former MEND operatives. Somebody said, don't come to my territory. Somebody said, I must come there. And he had a police escort, and they were going in. So, but if there is a resurgence of the MEND insurgency, it would be unfortunate.
Okay.
And then you want to ask, have we had any time when the South-South or the entire South has been free of insurgency? Perhaps it should be understood that it is not only the insurgency by MEND that is insurgency. Armed robbery is urban insurgency.
Okay.
Kidnapping is insurgency. All those crimes and criminality,
okay,
attacking pipelines is insurgency.
All right.
All right, so we've not really had a period when it abated. We only had a situation where the federal government threw money at the insurgency
to keep them quiet
in the Niger Delta, spread them to South Africa, Ghana, and other countries. They dispersed them to make them keep quiet. But when politicians took over.
Okay.
And some pocketed the money, it didn't get to others, we were bound to have a resurgence, if that is what has come up now.
Okay. All right, let me take it from Mr. Ignatius' perspective. So what do you think about the recent development now? Do you agree with Barrister here?
Yes, I think I agree with him. I agree with him. The truth of the matter is that the problem of the occurrence of this problem in the Niger Delta, it is as a result of what the federal government has done, because they are not sincere with the amnesty from the first place.
Okay.
It's not the amnesty the way they did it now. He did it, kind of a sectional amnesty, kind of favoring a particular group of people.
A particular tribe.
A particular tribe, So that will not stop the occurrence of the violence in the area.
Okay.
From time to time, there will be violence in the area. There will be violence, like what he rightly said. Kidnapping is on the high side, even in Delta State, the whole of the region. Kidnapping has become, a very popular crime, kind of.
So
you understand?
Which tribe do you think has benefited most from
the tribe that benefited certainly are the Ijos.
Okay.
If you look at the percentage of oil produced by themselves, it's very, very little compared to other tribes in the area. They favor the Ijos. They favor so many of them. There are people, Edo State, Delta State, the Urobos, the Shekiris, the Isokos, the Kwales, they never consider them. And when you talk of amnesty, amnesty is supposed to be a program that's supposed to be meant for people who have denounced crime. Okay? When you take them, you give them too much money, you expose them to too much money, and the many people. So certainly there is no way the crime rate will certainly come down in the area. But the unfortunate thing is that I think somebody is not really telling us the truth.
Okay.
To me, I believe that there is more to it than what we heard or what we have read in the papers.
Okay. Barrister, Mr. Enigotu now says, okay, that we're not getting the whole picture of the whole thing. Is the police trying to conceal something? In recent attacks, about 15 policemen lost their lives right now, but the police refutes the claim of MEND, saying it was a MEND attack. That is more of an issue of monies that were not paid in terms of amnesty payments to militants that caused the attack. What do you say about this?
Yes, I agree with him. I did a little summary.
Is the police trying to shroud some of the truth here?
No, I don't think so. I think the police are caught in between. Okay. If I may ask you, if this person responsible for this heinous crime is caught tomorrow, will he not be granted amnesty? Will he not be pardoned? Now, you see, when that is the area where when he says somebody is not telling the truth. Now, the entire amnesty day has been politicized.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there is over-concentration of goodies on some people, and some people are outside.
Yeah.
They are left to their own devices. It does not matter what you think, it does not matter what you do, it does not matter who you are or what you think is happening. So when you have such a situation, then there's no amnesty in the general sense. You have nepotism, you have tribalism, being elevated to a very high level. That's what you have. So that is a problem. There have been grievances. These people have addressed the press, they have spoken, they have said many things. Nobody is looking into it. The politicians say everything is all right, no problem. You can't do anything. What do you think the security people will say? When they are told, well, there's going to be, they'll say, oh, we're on top of it. Because that's the language they want the president to hear. That's the message they want him to hear. But they are not really on top of it. Now the police are caught in between. So it is not the police that are distributing these funds. Okay. It's not the police that are removing some people, taking them all over the world, while others are left behind in the cesspit. So
are you saying some elements have hijacked the amnesty program and
politicians have hijacked it? It's not a question of some elements. Politicians have hijacked it, and they're pocketing the money.
It's being used as a tool for enriching themselves.
Well, yes, and preparing for 2015. So you continue to have kidnappings in the Delta, to some extent, rivers, but in Abia and Imo, it is now business.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Bayelsa itself. So I think the governor of Bayelsa should address Nigerians and tell us what has happened. Because what happened is an offshoot
Okay.
of something that took, a development that took place in the government house.
Not even, can I just add something?
Tell us, Mr.
Yes,
Mr.
let me
tell
just
us
add something. You see, if there's a task force in the area, am I right?
Okay.
Comprising the Navy, the police, and the army. Am I right?
Yes, of course.
Why must it be that it is only police that suffer this loss? Something is wrong somewhere. I don't know if you are getting what I'm trying to explain.
Yeah, the police is the only group that is left in the dark.
Yes, that suffer this loss. Why? Something is wrong somewhere. I think somebody is there not actually telling us what has happened. Somebody is there somewhere that not told us what has happened. Let me tell you something. I went to Delta recently, and they introduced to me somebody who is in the task force. That guy has just 2 ropes in the army. He has a very big jeep. If you put that guy's salary together for 10 years, he can't buy a jeep. So these people are hiding something. That's exactly what I'm trying to explain to you. They are hiding. There is something wrong somewhere. They have not told us the truth of exactly what has happened.
Well, based on what Barrister Majole has said right now, that the amnesty program is really, if you can put it that way, has more or less failed.
Yeah.
But in spite of that, we've seen news in the pages. The government has celebrated that they've actually done very well in the amnesty issue. The militant and resurgence issue, insurgency issue, was more or less a done and dusted thing. So now that he's saying that it's a failed program, I mean, it's just because of this. Is it because of just this incident, or you're saying that from the very beginning or somewhere along the line, something happened and the government was not aware of it?
No, it's not because of this particular incident.
Okay.
There have been a babel of voices protesting and complaining that they are left out. There have been protests. People are complaining that, look, militants, we are militants, we lay down arms and you told us we'll get something. We have not seen anything. There have been protests until this development. This development only happened in Bayelsa. Bayelsa is not the only place where you had militants. As a matter of fact, there are protests in Delta, protests in Rivers, in virtually all the states. Yes, in the Edo state. So, but government has not paid any attention to these protests because the powerful politicians involved have hijacked it. And the president is told that, oh, well, everything is settled, don't mind them. These are detractors who are not happy with your presidency or your administration. But I think that you have ways and means of getting to know the truth.
Okay.
And if you take it from the government angle, because the government is celebrating it, you believe that that is the truth. But you should realize that even this government is celebrating the absence of electricity.
Okay.
The fact that we have no roads, they tell you that there are roads. The fact that you have few aircrafts flying now in the skies. What are they not celebrating? They are celebrating failure.
Say all is well.
Okay.
So if you count their celebration as the occasion for the success, then that would be a mistake.
Okay. All right.
You must look beyond it.
All right. Okay. I've got that's coming from Barrister Majole there. He's made his point. Look, the government has nothing to celebrate when it comes to the issue of curbing insurgency and talking about militant attacks. Now, we want to take a report, an Al Jazeera report on the same issue, talking about the MEND issue and the Niger Delta. So stay with us, and after the report, we'll be right back.
We were led deep into the creeks of Nigeria's oil-rich Niger Delta region to meet the organization claiming to be behind Friday's bombing of the capital, Abuja. They met us halfway and guided us to their camp. In a heavily fortified compound, we found dozens of fighters for the movement for the emancipation of the Niger Delta, known as MEND, armed to the teeth. They say they want the billions of dollars the Nigerian government makes from oil exports redistributed to communities in the region. branding their calls with the slogan, justice and equity.
You came on a boat. You saw with your own eyes. You saw the villages and whatever. Was there light, like power? No. No schools. No first aid point, dispensaries and whatever. Nothing. You'll be able to tell if it's an animal or a human being.
He then proceeded to show us stockpiles of new equipment they boasted will be used in overnight attacks on the installations of foreign oil companies. The Nigerian government claimed to have crushed MEND. These images appear to suggest the opposite. We were then allowed to walk freely around the camp for 10 minutes. This camp for MEND fighters is under construction, but it can be dismantled within about 3 hours and they can move to a new location entirely. Fighters are constantly on the move and their anger and frustration is palpable.
90% of this well belongs to us. You can see somebody from nowhere will come and start owning an oil well, whatever, in my own backyard. And me, I'm living here. This is my house. This is the oil well here. I don't even have a cup of oil. How do you justify that?
We then asked whether MEND were planning more attacks.
The attacks are on. They are on.
Less than 48 hours after this interview took place, this. The twin bombs MEND claim they planted in the Nigerian capital Abuja exploded, killing 12 people. If true, it's the first civilian location to be hit in the movement's history. And it's now emerged that several men have been arrested in connection with the bombings in Abuja who are linked to MEND, proof that the organization is still a force to be reckoned with.
All right, welcome back. And that was a report by Al Jazeera on the issue, the situation on ground in the Niger Delta, and talking about insurgency coming from the movement for the emancipation of the Niger Delta, MEND there. And Barrister and Mr. Enihotu, you see what we saw there? Those men were well kitted, in fact, very organized. And you wonder, where, they get all these resources, where they get all the support and how they get them. And it's amazing because it seems as if, MEND has never left. And maybe they've just been, in waiting, waiting to see what would happen, according to what we saw in that report.
Well, the symbol of that struggle is that man who was talking to the journalists.
Okay.
If you listen carefully to that man's language, I don't think it's somebody who did not go up to the university level.
Okay.
You could hear from what he was saying that that's somebody who is well educated. So that demonstrates their organization.
All right.
And capability.
Okay.
And I'm a little bit familiar with military equipment. What that man was wearing is not binoculars.
It's night vision.
Yes, a night vision. And only very few armies in Africa have that equipment. Very few. There are some countries that don't have it. They have not seen it before at all. But you see, they have it. So it's scary. It's scary what you have there. Okay. And that confirms what we're saying, that this thing never really went away.
Okay.
The government just threw some funds at it and started to celebrate.
All right. Mr. Enigotu,
yes, please.
Do we have cause for worry here?
Yes, I think we have serious cause for worry. The truth of the matter is, whenever you are hiding the truth, the truth is the only thing that people cannot hide. We have told you that the amnesty, the so-called amnesty, was one-sided, and it has been totally politicized. So we are only looking at, we are only having some peace now because maybe, some pocket of, peaceful gratitude has been given to some few people. But I can assure you that, this kind of a thing will continue to reoccur.
Okay, let me throw this at you now.
Yes,
MEND, in a recent statement by spokesman Bomo Jomo, said the attacks will be sustained, okay, until an unreserved apology is offered to it. It said an alleged fake letter, okay, by MEND was used as evidence against its head, Henry Okah, and for which he has been jailed. And what's your take on that?
Well, I know for sure that Henry Okah, who has been convicted, actually committed a crime.
All right.
Because there were many.
But he's not the only one.
Yeah, he's not the only one. Now, his conviction, I am convinced he committed the offense. All right? They didn't just go there, pick somebody and say, it's Henry Okah.
Okay.
They know that there are people that know these people.
All right.
Or like Boko Haram, there are people that know these people very, very well. They are not as if they are invisible people. So, and what I don't know is the annoyance of MED itself. Because Okah has been there for the past 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
It's been heard.
Okay.
Okay? If they wanted to fight, they wanted to retaliate, there must be a way they would have started doing this when Okah was even flown to South Africa. Or when he ran to South Africa. But since then, he's been in prison, and nothing has happened.
So you're saying, in essence, that there must be more to it than meets
there
the
must
eye.
be more to it, to what we are saying. That is the way I believe it.
What's your take, sir?
Well,
because this is what we are being told, or this is what we are working with here.
Yeah, on the lighter side, we now have an administration that is being dictated to. Grant amnesty to these people and say, all right, we are going to, we are considering. So if MEND says apologize, I mean, well, is that strange? That's the kind of thing we are going to see in the next few years.
But the effrontery, I mean, is speaking with so much confidence.
Yes, of course, because I mean, when you know that the guy there is not up to it, then you have that challenging effrontery to come up with any bizarre thing.